Good evening, race fans. Welcome to round 3 of the Big Brain Racing 12 Days of Christmas. We are live tonight from Paul Ricard, and we've got a special guest joining us in the commentary box tonight. You may have seen him the last couple of nights taking victory in rounds 1 and 2. He's decided to let everyone else have a chance tonight, so welcome along, Damien.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening. Thanks for having me. Uh, yeah, that's mainly the reason. It's Paul Ricard's I'm not racing tonight. Yeah.
Paul Ricard. I mean, you're still quicker on Paul Ricard, so.
I'm decent, but I haven't raced there in a long while. I actively avoid this track.
Weirdly,
Right.
it's one of my favourite tracks.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know why. It just kind of suits me. Maybe
Me, I
it's because a lot of people don't like it and don't practice it much, which gives me an edge because I do practice it a bit.
yeah, that could be it. I mean, there's too many awkward corners for me. I just don't like it too much. Sector 1, just like this Sector 1 in Misano, there's a lot of those corners where you just keep on sliding.
Yeah, I think it's very much a track where it's about hooking up a section of corners rather than being like as quick as you can through every single corner. I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean you can do it well for the first corner, but then you mess up the exit, which is the entry to another corner. So the delta
exactly.
goes red relatively quickly.
Yeah. I mean, considering it's a track that a lot of people don't particularly like, we still got 20 cars on track tonight. So we'll see who has been put in the practice around here. Currently, we are watching Thomas Kinnell. I think there's Thomas's first race tonight. I don't remember seeing him in round 1 or 2. So we'll see.
But I think it wasn't him. I've seen the 111 Ferrari, definitely.
Yes, Matheson was. Yeah, Matheson I think has been in any of the races. Not sure that Kinnell has. Maybe round 1 actually, if I remember. My memory's bad. It was only 2 days ago. I can't remember that far away. But yeah, he's just coming around the first couple of corners here. Keeping it neat and tidy. Not expecting the Porsche to be necessarily the quickest car around here. It does struggle a little bit with straight line speed, and obviously a large part of this track is that back straight where you have time to step away and make a coffee if you want to. It's that long.
Yeah, get a refresh. I think it's about a 30-second straight, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's the exact opposite of what I like. I like tracks like Brands Hatch or Laguna where you have to keep your focus at all times because it's all corners. Here, you can just chillax and wait for what's about to happen.
I mean, it's good. It's good in endurance racing. You have plenty of time to set up your strategy for the next driver.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean. It kind of. They could almost do with using the F1 chicane down the middle of it, or I mean, there's so many different variations of this track that they could use, but they opt for that long straight, which just cools everything down, cools the tyres down, cools the brakes down, and then gives you a problem in the last sector then because you're arriving in the tight and twist, probably the tightest and twistiest sector, with cold tyres and brakes.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when it's cold. The graining is then a huge problem in the long distance.
Definitely. So we're just seeing Thomas Kinnell coming round the final corner here, and he's going to cross the line with a 156.3, so a little bit off the pace. Current provisional pole setter, we've got Chase Jones in that BSR Lamborghini. You have obviously done a couple of races against Chase now. What are you expecting from him tonight?
Luck time wise, I have no idea, but definitely going for the win. I think he's already in 53s, which already I think is a decent time. So yeah, he's hard to keep up with. He's really quick. So.
And that's high praise coming from you.
Well, yeah, he beat me last time
Yeah.
around Sano, so yeah. he is quick.
Yeah.
I'm betting for him to take the pole unless Anders can do something about it.
Yeah, not. Where's Anders at the minute? So he's not actually set a lap time yet. Looks like he is on a quick one at the minute, though. Just coming round turn 9, that is, I think. Probably one of the hardest corners on the track. That long right-hander really makes the tyres tyres struggle by the end of it. The amount of lateral load that you're putting through them all the way around there.
Yeah, especially since it's 33 degrees on track, so those lefts will be screaming towards the end of qualifying even.
Yeah, even in a 10-minute qualifying session. Oh, and that is tight at the top. Anders there with a 53.3 puts himself 500ths behind Chase Jones there. So we could have a race on our hands tonight for that victory, Damien.
Looks like it. Definitely looks like it. That's what I was hoping for. I kind of regret there's no Christian with us tonight. He wasn't racing yesterday as well. But yeah, between these two, it's already only 500ths of a second difference, so it's going to be interesting.
Yep, and then we have a little bit of a gap back to Nathan Smith-Adams in that lovely looking Bilstein Black Falcon liveried McLaren. And then it could almost be two battles tonight. I think one for the one for the victory, and then there could be a 3 or 4 way fight then between Nathan Smith-Adams, Danhausen, Bosworth, and Christian Jones. Maybe even a few others if they can get in the mix for that final podium position.
Yeah, because if nothing weird happens at the race start, I think the top 2 will just fly away from the rest of the field, and we will see this fight, and like you said, probably a few people fighting for P3.
Yep, so we do have some quite big improvement coming actually from Moritz Danhausen. He's currently half a second up on his lap here, so he's just come around turn 10 there, so close to the end of the lap. So a couple more corners to keep this lap going. Still has lost a little bit of time, but it's still looking like a big improvement as he just comes around that final corner. This could be enough to move him up to 3rd position. And not quite actually. He lost a bit of time on the exit of the final corner there, and takes him to within 500ths of a second of Smith-Adams, but not quite enough to get past him at the minute. Looks like there's not too many on a lap right now. Adam Kaler actually. Adam's just coming out of the final corner. He's looking like making a big improvement here in the BMW. I know Adam was saying earlier he's kind of struggling a little bit with the beam around here, struggling to get traction out of some of the corners, which probably not too surprising in these hot temperatures.
Yeah, hot temperatures, front engine car, it will get more understeerial exits mid-engine. And we only have 12 laps at the moment. There's 8 people who didn't set a time yet.
It's crazy.
And 3 of them not setting the time because they're still in pits.
Well, I think we've got Hackinson tonight with a qualifying ban, so that explains one of them, but I'm not sure why the others opting to stay in the pits there. Looks like we're not going to get a lap from Robinson because he's just invalidated his current lap. So has Dan Johnson, but he will just cross the line in time to start another lap, so he's got one more chance. So looking at Brackstad, Johnston and Oscar Keir to try and set a lap time at the end of qualifying here to try and avoid having to start at the back. So let's jump on board with Gabriel Oscar Keir. He's just coming round, what's this one, turn 6 and 7 onto the back straight. No corner names here at Paul Ricard, unfortunately, so you don't get to hear me butchering any French French names or French pronunciation.
Is it the last? Is it the corner after the straight also called Mistral, like the straight, the long right-hander? I think.
Quite possibly. I know the track map I've got in front of me doesn't have any corner names, so that's what I'm going off.
Anders is currently improving, 1/10 at the moment, which could put him P1 if he manages to keep that.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Just see Oscar Kier finish this lap, because it does look like he's on quite a good one. Just coming round turn 10. Last corner to go. So that's going to jump him up the grid quite considerably, and that puts Oscar Kier into P3. So leaving it late, but getting the lap time in eventually. Let's jump on board with Amundsen, because he's actually gained a lot more time through that middle sector as well. He's now about 3/10 up as he comes towards the start-finish line. This should be an easy pole position for him here, and it is. Pole position there for Anders Amundsen. Ooh, close to the 52s there as well. 53.1 in the end. So decent lap time that.
Definitely did it just on time on the last lap he could have possibly had. Really good that last sector. He was I think about 2/10 up when he was going through the Mistral straight, and then gained yet another 10th, more than that 10th. So
that's good going. So it's all about linking up those corners and making sure you get good exit onto the straight and everything like that. So obviously Anders doing a good job of that at the end of qualifying now.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see the race start, because the race starts around Paul Ricard are also quite intense with that opening chicane. It's pretty bumpy. It's pretty tight. So, yeah.
Yeah, it can be. Let's just say there can be incidents in those first two corners.
Eventful, yes. Quite eventful.
And the back straight, the Minstrel Straights, are always good fun on the first lap when everyone's super close together and you end up with 5 cars wide.
Yeah. This corner is always it always makes me think twice before making any attempts, because it's easy to lose it on your own, and if you're going side by side there on such a fast corner, the slightest of mistakes can send you even to the wall, which is pretty far away, but still at that speed you can still trade some paint with it.
It's always, I think, when you spin there, it's always a bit of a trade-off. You either have to slam the brakes on and risk flat spotting the tyres, or you try to regain control of it but risk also getting all the way out to the wall and hitting the wall. So it's always a tough compromise to try and make there. Not that I never spin off there.
How would you know? You never spun there. I've spun there quite many times.
So interestingly, Paul Ricard was the first track that I ever did an endurance race on. So I did a 6-hour race here. The first stint I was super nervous, and I was about 1 second off the pace that I knew I could do, which was about 2 seconds off the pace of my teammates. And then, well, it didn't help that one of my teammates started off like a rocket, handed me the car when we were in P2, and I was super nervous.
Pressure, yeah.
As you would be, the pressure that you've been put in this good position. So we dropped back a little bit, and then the third driver was actually suffering from COVID at the time, so he ended up crashing the car in his stint, which I didn't do in mine, even though I was slow. So then when I got back in the car, I was a lot more relaxed, and I was actually quicker than what I'd done in practice.
Yeah.
Crazy how it works out.
It works both ways. It can either make you quicker or make you slower.
Yeah.
No mistakes.
So I'll just quickly take us through the grid for this race. So pole position for Anders Admundsen in the Big Brain Racing McLaren. P2 we have Chase Jones in the BSR Lamborghini. P3 we have Gabriel Oskakir in the AF Course Ferrari. P4 is Moritz Danhausen in the Eiffel Racing Ferrari. P5 we have Nathan Smith-Adams in the Bilstein Black Falcon McLaren. Then in P6 we have Luke Bosworth in the TGS Ferrari. P7 is Dan Johnson in the Roadrunner Racing Ferrari. Then we have Christian Jones in the Pseudo Racing Lamborghini in P8. Sam Brackstad is in P9 in the Big Brain Racing Porsche. Then we have Russell Matheson in the Hex Ferrari in P10. John Gray down in P11 in the Big Brain Racing McLaren. Then we have Harry Tuominen in the Hexagon Nation Audi in P12. P13 we have Frederick Sleen in the Big Brain Racing Porsche. P14 is Thomas Cannell in the Hexagon Nation Porsche. Then we have Adam Kaler in P15 in the Big Brain Racing BMW. P16 is Nathan Goodman in the Team WRT BMW. P17 is Bas van Wiesel in the 3-wide Honda. 18th is Alexander Rietz in the 3-wide Honda. And then in P19 we have Tobias Hackinson in the Team WRT BMW. So who's your money on in this race tonight, Damien?
Sorry, what was the question again?
I said, who's your money on in this race tonight?
Ooh, well, before the qualifying started, most of my money would have gone to Chase, but now since Anders has done such a good qualifying lap, I'm not so sure anymore. So we'll see. I guess if I were to bet money, I would bet it on Chase. Still, I don't want to change my mind, so we'll just see what happens next. I know Anders is a Big Brain Racing team member, but Chase, from what I've seen and remember, is a quite aggressive driver. So we'll see what the battles look like. I'm sure there will be some.
And it'll be interesting to see as well what the top speeds are like compared to between the McLaren and the Lamborghini, because I'm not quite sure offhand which one's quicker.
Me neither.
And obviously with different wing levels potentially could play into it. So they're forming up the grid 2 by 2 as we come up to the last corner. Get on. There's not very many. There's not a good camera angle for the start on this track. It's weird. Helicam's probably about the best. Try and see all the action as we come down the start finish straight, waiting for that green light. And we are racing. So good start from Anders Amundsen. Not quite as good from Chase. He just drops in behind for the time being. On the outside of turn 1 now, brakes a little bit later, but can't really make a move around the outside of turn 1 that easily. And he's actually lost ground there to Oscar Kier. So Oscar Kier there up to P2.
We have quite some contact in the back of the field. There we had one spinner at least.
Let's see if we can catch a replay of that from the start. So on board with Sam Brackstad here, coming down towards turn 1. Might even be a bit further, or is it? So he just got tapped by. Yeah, he got tapped from behind, I think, by who was that? maybe Nathan Smith-Adams. I'm not quite sure.
I think it was upon 99, wasn't it? I think it was 99.
99 was it? Okay, Bosworth. And we've got almost 5 wide round around that Mistral corner. Some very good racing from all of them involved there to not make any contact between any of them. They all make it round. It does look at the minute like Nathan Smith-Adam is a bit of a cork in the bottle here. The cars behind look like they could have a little bit more pace if they could find a way by.
Yeah, in such sections where there's so many mid-speed corners, it's really hard to make any kind of a move. So they might be.
Matheson making a move there around the inside of the last corner, but going wide. But Smith-Adams also going wide, so both of them leaving the track there. So I'm not sure there was really any advantage gained. We've got John Gray on the inside, and there's contact, big contact there. Let's jump back a few seconds. So John Gray on the inside. Oh, and yeah, Matheson moved to the right-hand side, made contact with Smith-Adams, and that bounced him then back into the path of John Gray, unfortunately. So, and Matheson picking up a drive-through already. That's got to be for track limits after 1 lap. That's got to be some kind of record, right?
Limits lap 1, especially in traffic, is not easy to do, I'd say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's rather quick and rather surprising. Unless he cut one corner massively and just got a drive-through for 1 corner.
That is possible around here. Especially turn 3, 4 and 5, that section there.
Actually, we got a change in P2.
Yep.
Chase has dropped to P3 actually. We've missed that somehow.
No, that happened at the start. We caught that, but Oscar Kier fighting for the lead here with Owen making contact with Amundsen there.
Cost him 2 positions with that.
Yeah, cost him a couple of positions with that, and yeah, Oscar Kier. Let's see if we can have a look at the replay of that, because that looked a little bit naughty. Let's see if we can see anything more on the replay. So Amundsen going a little bit deep. It's hard to tell from that angle, really. We need to see some more angles of it. I'm sure that's something that the stewards will have a look at. So Matheson in the pits taking that drive-through penalty. That's going to drop him well down the field. It's a long pit lane here as well, so it's a big penalty, that.
Especially in a 30-minute race, there's not too much time to gain any places back.
Yeah, definitely not. We've had a lot of action here in the early running. Looks like we've got Frederick Sleen fighting with Goodman ahead of him, and Kinnell. Sorry, John Gray behind him. So we've got a 3-way fight here for 9th, 10th, 8th, 9th and 10th, sorry. Looks like a good run from Sleen here onto the back straight behind that BMW. This is where we'll see what the straight line speed of that Porsche is like versus the BMW.
Anders is making a move. No, actually Oscar Kier has let him through on the Mistral corner right there, so he's back to P2 at the moment. So he did apply a gentleman's rule.
Let's have a little look back
through.
Yeah, letting him through. That's good sportsmanship there. The three of these looking very well matched early in the race though. Sleen did make the move on Goodman there. Obviously, we jumped up to the action at the front there. So Frederick Sleen up to P8. We've just seen Brackstad making a move on Alexander Reitz as well. Let's just see if we can catch that. Yeah, Reitz running wide, and that's an easy overtake there for Brackstad just around the inside. It looks like while we've been on this replay, he's also made the move against Kinnell. So from one replay to another, yeah, on the inside of the last corner, a little bit bumping over the curbs. But yeah, Sam Braxted up into P11. And multiple yellow flags in Sector 1. What's happened here?
Ooh, quite a lot, I'm afraid. Quite a lot. Another.
Yeah, side by side, and then four cars involved in that. Hard to keep up with all this action here. We've now got John Gray making a move on Goodman. Was that a mistake by Goodman there? Because Braxted also got through. Not quite sure. We didn't quite catch that. So that's John Gray up to P9, Sam Braxted P10, Goodman P11. Out in the front, does look like Chase Jones has created a little bit of a gap now between himself and Anders Amundsen. That gap at about 0.7 of a second. Amundsen closely followed by Oscar Kier though.
Very close indeed, around 3/10, sniffing about. Anders' rear axle. I'm not sure if Rai is still that good in a straight line as it was when it was released. Because if it is, if he keeps himself that close, he might have a good run for Mr. Straight again.
Yeah, I think what will benefit Anders though is also being in the slipstream of the Lamborghini ahead of him. I think if he didn't have that slipstream, it might be a bit of a different matter down that Mistral straight. We've got Sausage Knights in chat saying, "Come on, Damien, fix your house first." I think that's. I can't remember who that's one of the pseudo guys, right?
Yeah. It doesn't need a fix, just a slight facelift. Oh, we have a Honda losing it on the first chicane.
Yep.
Drops it to P17 to P18 behind yet another 3-wide Honda.
Yep, that was Van Weetzel. Just losing it there in P1. I've stuck with the action at the front because it looks like Anders making a move round the outside of Chase Jones there. That's a brave move round the outside of of turn 8 there.
Yeah, if I've ever seen a brave move, that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. Like, it's not easy to hold the car in that position, especially all the rest. That was very close. But well done.
Yeah, great move that round the outside there. It's weird. It seems like these three in the lead are very closely matched, and then all of a sudden one of them gets a little bit quicker than the other two. They move to the front, and then another one takes it as their turn to be quick. As we see a little bit of a dive up the inside there of the final corner by Oscar Kier, but I think Chase Jones got the cut back on him there. So side by side coming down the start-finish straight. Looks like who's going to be later on the brakes. It looks like Oscar Kier's managed to make that move on the inside there into turn 1. So Chase Jones going from the lead to P3 in that lap. But I'm sure he still has the pace to make these positions back again.
Most definitely has. We'll see what happens on the straight again.
Yeah.
Anders seemed to have a lot of more of that straight speed. I mean, he was the Lamborghini was in the front, so he didn't have any slipstream.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And while these two have been fighting, that's allowed Anders to pull out a decent-sized gap out the front now with 1.8 seconds. So we've got Chase Jones firmly in that slipstream now behind Gabriel Oscar Kier.
Might be slightly too far away to make a move.
Yeah, a little bit far back perhaps, but could still make the move. Maybe no, he still a little bit too far back, but does seem to have a lot more grip in that Lamborghini around turn 9 than what the Ferrari does. So that gap's widened out a little bit, but going a bit further back down the field, we've got Tobias Hackinson in P14. He's all over the back of Thomas Kinnell, and he also has Luke Bosworth behind him, but not for much longer because he's just moved up the inside there into turn 10 and taken that position. So Luke Bosworth up into P14 there.
Very neatly done. BMW seemed to have overshot a little bit and he just took that empty space on the inside. Nice clean overtake.
Yep, and of course we saw that that collision and that spin earlier on from Luke Bosworth, so maybe a little bit out of position as well, fighting his way back through the grid. Jumping up a little bit further, we've got Sam Brackstad in P10. He is right behind John Gray in P9, and the two of them are also right behind Frederick Sleen. So we've got a three-way Big Brain Racing battle forming here for P8, 9 and 10. But John seeming to struggle a little bit tonight. We've seen good pace from him in the first two races. Maybe he's a little bit like you here, doesn't really practice Paul Ricard too much.
That is likely. I'm not the only one who doesn't like this track.
So he's the McLaren in the Porsche sandwich at the minute. Managing to hold his own though so far. Sam Brackstad having a little look to the inside, but it wasn't really close enough to make a move there, and losing the back end around turn 9 there. That's not going to do those tyres very, very good there on a car that is notorious for eating its rear tyres.
Yeah, it is it's the only one, the only rear-engined car, so it's very heavy at the rear, especially if you run a high wing. So it gets really hard on those rear tires. Yeah,
so you want to be looking after them, not sliding them. Definitely. Is what we're saying. Easier said than done sometimes. We do have Luke Bosworth right on the back of Thomas Kinnell now. So Luke Bosworth trying to gain that next position of P13 as they come down the start-finish straight. So Luke Bosworth in that TGS Ferrari with the orange chocolate livery. It's making me hungry looking at that livery too much. So that gap has widened a little bit. We still have that three-way fight going on up ahead of Brackstad, Gray and Sleen. Looks like Brackstad's got a good exit here onto the back straight, and he is right in the slipstream of John Gray ahead of him. John being helped by being in the slipstream of Frederick Sleen, and it's closing the three of them up as they come down towards turn 8. In fact, John actually making the move there on Frederick Sleen, and Sam Brackstad trying to follow him around the outside there. That's going to be a little bit wide there. That'll be a track warning. And,
yep, most definitely.
Yep, and he does let Frederick back through on the inside there. So some nice gentleman driving there as well. Gain the position off the track, so let him go into the next corner.
Still also looking at that fight for P4, but they're constantly getting closer and further apart from each other, depending on which corner you look at. So, not much going on at the moment, but he's still pretty close.
Got some yellow flags back there for Bosworth and Kinnell. Let's see if we can catch what happened here. So Matheson there in that pink Ferrari, and yeah, just Kinnell running out wide there and then turning back in again. Like the camera angles that the TV crew are giving us tonight, not the best to really get a good understanding of what's happened in some of these incidents. But yeah, the outcome of it is both Bosworth and Kinnell losing positions. Jumping up to that battle you were looking at, it does look like Danhausen is closing on Smith Adams down the back straight. Just doesn't look like he can quite get close enough by the time they get to the Mistral corner.
Yeah. On the other hand, the fight for P9 is on. We have two Porsches side by side. On that straight.
Sam Braxad on the inside this time. That should make it a little bit easier for him to gain that position, but now Frederick sending it around the outside there and managing to keep hold of it.
Yeah, much braver into that corner. Which
but then running wide there on it, running wide into turn 9, and looks like Braxad's through.
It was fun to see on the straight that the Porsche was gaining on another Porsche, but as the instant he went out of that slipstream, they were perfectly even on that top speed, no longer gaining, so it was really hard to make that whole thing stick. But he did in the end with decently overshooting the next corner.
And that's what it's about sometimes as well, is just waiting for those opportunities to present themselves. It's very difficult when you're in close racing for even just a 30-minute race to not make any mistakes. So as you see, Danhausen looking to the outside there of Smith Adams. Does look like at this point in the race, at least, Danhausen could probably go a little bit quicker than Smith Adams, but not able to make the move so far. He just seems to lose too much through those turns 3, 4, 5 and 6 onto that back straight, and then just leaves himself too much to do actually on the back straight.
Yeah, that section is really tricky. If you lose it just a little bit, you have to correct it, and the whole section falls apart. So I think that's pretty much what happened here, because he was, I think, 1/10 behind before that whole section started.
And that also could be potentially to do with the difference in the two cars as well. Obviously the McLaren has very high downforce, which maybe helps it through that sector. The Ferrari with potentially the better straight line speed, but the two kind of balancing each other out at the minute. It's one car quicker in some sectors, the other car quicker in the other, and Danhausen not able to make the move at the minute. But what this has done with these two fighting has allowed Dan Johnson to also close up on the back of this battle. So three-way fight now for P4. Keeping an eye on the battle out front, but it does seem to have calmed down now. We still have Anders Amundsen out in front in P1. He has 1.6 second back to Gabriel Oskakir. And then he has gained 4.5 seconds over Chase Jones in P3. So Chase Jones dropping off the pace a little bit as this race has continued. And Danhausen round the outside there. That's going to give him the inside then into the next corner. And it looks like he's got the job done. That's not a conventional overtaking place, but he made it work.
Definitely, and it was kept relatively clean, just a slight minor tap, which is perfectly fine. Just elbows out and looked relatively clean. So
yep. But he's
now we'll have to defend.
Exactly, yeah, that's just what I was going to say. It does look like Smith Adams is coming back at him, and he's pinned him in the middle of the track there. He's moved over now. It's also looking like Dan Johnson is going to get a double dose of slipstream here. Maybe he will be looking to make the move, but yeah, backs out of that early. Did not want to go 3 wide into turn 8 there.
That's probably wise.
Yeah. But yeah, some great clean racing from these guys.
Yeah, you can also see the power of the slipstream you get. with McLaren being behind, theoretically Ferrari with a better top speed, but it was a relatively easy overtake at the end of that straight.
It did seem to be. We do now have Sam Brackstad up close behind John Gray again. So now they've both got by Frederick Sleen. The two of them, it's battle engaged again. So just coming around the final corner, and the punch that Porsche gets out of the corner is unreal. Like when you're the car chasing it and you're trying to get past, the absolute launch it gets off the corner is just ridiculous sometimes. But John going defensively to the inside and manages to keep that position into turn one. It's not the longest start-finish straight here, so it's hard to make a move into turn one a lot of the time unless the car in front makes a bit of a mistake usually.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the speed traps here, and it's clear which car is the fastest, with 292 kph for the Ferrari of Oskier is the fastest we've seen so far.
And I suspect that's probably slipstream enabled as well.
Yeah, most definitely.
So Brackstad right under the rear wing of John Gray here as they go down that back straight, pulls out of the slipstream. I think the trouble is, you see it there, he's having to duck back into the slipstream. So as soon as he pulls out of that slipstream, the McLaren starts to gain again.
Yeah, Porsche is not really known for its top speed around here. I mean, around here in ACC. From what I remember, it's pretty quick on a straight line.
Oh, John Gray running a little bit wide into turn 9. That's allowed Sam Brackstad on the inside, but John Gray holding it around the outside, which then becomes the inside for the next corner. Oh, and some incredibly tight racing between the two of them there, but keeping it nice and clean and fair racing. And John Gray managing to hold on to the position for now.
Yeah, we'll see what happens next. Eventually, I think they will battle again.
Again, that Porsche getting a good exit out of the final corner. He's probably not quite as close as he was last time, but that might actually help him in terms of slipstream if he gets caught up at just the right moment. But the two of them actually have been closing that gap ahead of them to Harry Tuominen in the Hexagon Nation Audi there.
Only 1 second away now.
Yeah, exactly. That Audi may be struggling on its tyres a little bit at this point in the race. The lap times would suggest that anyway. 57.9 last time around, so either struggling on tyres or a bit of a mistake somewhere from Tuominen.
Yeah, it's really hard on tyres, especially Audi is that kind of car which you usually run at full weight, so its top speed is also not great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hard on tyres. It's better through the corners, but it's hard on those tyres. So
Yeah.
it might be a big problem.
And they've definitely closed up massively on the Audi down that straight. Oh, a little bit wide from John there. That's going to maybe give Sam Brackstad a bit of a run on the inside, and it does. And I think he's got it done this time. So that's Brackstad through and up into P7 there. Be interesting to see if John Gray's got anything to fight back with. But I think the way that Audi is struggling, there's a very good chance they could both have a go at that Audi before the end of the race.
Even though they're fighting, they're still closing in. So if any of them manages to build a gap, then they'll definitely catch that Audi. It's only 0.3 seconds now, so yeah, it's on for P6.
Brackstad there having a little bit of a look to the inside of turn 1, deciding against it, just slotting in behind the Audi there of Harry Tuominen. Having a look now to the inside Ooh, it's getting very tight between the two. This is now bringing John Gray back into play with the pair of them as well. We could end up very easily. Oh, and
That's a send.
that's a bit of a send there on the inside there, and John Gray making the way through as well.
Really tight. It's really
That
hard when
was
you're
really tight
accelerating
there.
on back.
Yeah.
And intentional or not, John Gray has pushed out Tommy to the outside of the track, actually outside the track. So,
Yeah.
it's really easy to understeer in that section, so we have to be really careful.
I mean, going side by side through that section, it's only really designed for one car through there, isn't it? It's not really 2 car wide as they get side by side around turn 8 and into turn 9. Looks like Tuminen's got the advantage at the minute. John Gray all over the back of him, trying to find a way through. But he's going to have to wait a little bit longer. There's not really great overtaking opportunities through these next couple of corners.
Yeah, with all that fighting going on, you can see how massive the gaps are. The cars are massively spread from P3, 2 to 3 you have 5 seconds, you have 11 seconds to 4, you have 10 seconds to P5. With all that fighting going on, even though this is only a 30-minute race, we have a huge spread. Basically covering almost all the track except the straight right now. So
Yeah.
there's been a lot going on. There's been a lot going on in this race.
Oh, there's been a lot of action, and it's flown by. We've only got 2 minutes 20 left to go in this race, so I think it's going to be one more lap after this one with where the leader is right now. So a lap and a half to go for John Gray to try and find a way past Harry Tuminen, and it's looking like he's going to get a good slipstream down the back straight here. Definitely gaining out of that corner. Can he get close enough by the time we get to the end there?
There's quite some way to go.
So John Gray moving to the outside there. Looks like he might have got it done, and he has. So the slipstream effect for that McLaren working out wonders once again. Managing to find a way past the Audi there of Harry Tuminen.
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
Yep, so as suspected, we have one more lap to go in this race. Looks like Tuminen is trying to fight it back, but really looks like those tyres are pretty done on that Audi. A little bit further down the field, we've got Christian Jones on the back of Adam Kaler here. So Christian Jones of Pseudo Racing in the Lamborghini, on the back of Adam Kaler in the Big Brain Racing BMW. Will be interesting to see actually what the straight line speed differences are like between the Lamborghini and the BMW. So go through the first couple of corners here.
Yeah, Christian not having the best of races. I think he qualified in the top 10, but had a incident early in the race and had to crawl his way back up the field, and I think he gained quite a few places.
Yeah, he's been steadily climbing. Currently in P12, but he's going to be right in the slipstream, and this could give him a good opportunity to gain one last position on the final lap of the race. A little bit of weaving there from Adam.
The leader has finished the race.
They're trying to lose a slipstream,
Yeah.
but you can only move so many times.
So we have, we've been keeping this action going. Our leader has crossed the line, so I'll just jump up to that, see that. So Anders Amundsen, congratulations on the victory. Very nice win there. Once he got out into the lead, he never really looked back, to be honest. P2 for Gabriel Oskakir. Good race from him as well. Some nice moves in there. Chase Jones taking home the final podium position in P3. We then have Moritz Danhausen in P4. Dan Johnson P5. Sam Braxad coming home in P6. John Gray in P7. Frederick Sleen P8. Harry Tumanen in P9. Then we have Russell Matheson in P10. Adam Kaler did manage to hold on to P11 ahead of Christian Jones, so well done to him. Christian Jones in P12. Nathan Goodman finishing 13th. We then had Luke Bosworth in 13th. We had Hackinson in 14th. Breeks in 15th. Van Wiesel 16th. And Kinnell in P17. So, good and exciting race there, Damien, for your commentary debut on Big Brain Racing.
It is, yes, and I'm pretty sure we're not done yet, because with how much has been going on, we've had quite a few contacts, so I would be suspecting that stewards will have quite a bit of work on their hands if those get reported.
Let's hope they don't, because the stewards are tired. But no, in all seriousness, like it'll get sorted, and yeah, it's forming up to be a very interesting championship. This race every day, people choosing the races they want to do and the races they don't want to do. It's interesting. It's an interesting format, and I'm quite excited to see how it ends up.
Yeah, I definitely second that. You can tell by seeing me here and not on the track. I think that's the best evidence of people choosing the tracks they want to race on.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So we're going to end things there for tonight. So thanks for watching. Just want to mention our sponsor for this championship, Track Titan. They've very kindly thrown some prizes up for the top 3 in each race. Excuse me. So yeah, check them out, and if you use our link, if you sign up using our link, you get a 30-day free trial instead of 14, and then if you decide to take out a subscription after that, you get 30% discount. So well worth checking it out, see if it's something that interests you, and if it is, give it a go. Also, thanks to IMB Racewear. They provide us with products such as, and I'm not prepared for this at all, race gloves. So if you're interested in the teamwear for Big Brain Racing, you can check that out there. Also, check out our merch store where you can get such fetching hoodies and other clothing items like this hoodie that I'm wearing. We have hats, we have caps, all sorts of stuff over there. So check it out. I think you could still get delivery in time for Christmas. So check all that out. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow night for round 4 at Monza. A track that you're going to drive on, Damien?
Probably.
Yeah.
Most likely, yes. But no promises.
No promises. Well, I'll be here on commentary tomorrow night. Damien might be racing. But yeah, thanks for joining me tonight, Damien.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And thanks everyone for watching, and we will catch you next time.